Good morning, good morning. Hey, today is August the 31st. A beautiful Thursday morning. We survived the hurricane from last night. That name is, I'm going to mess it up, but it was a hurricane here in South Carolina last night, and we survived it with the grace of God. Thank you, Lord. I just want to do a quick recap before I get into today's show. And yesterday, the word of the day was wait. Wait, WAIT, wait. And the definition of wait is stay where one is or delay action until a particular time or until something else happens. So, wait and be patient for your blessing. Also, go to Walmart, go to Shoe Show, go to Foot Locker, wherever, and buy you a good pair of shoes. And you know why? Because we travel down this road to wisdom, and you got to make sure that you get the proper shoe to wear. So, without further ado, let's get to today's show. Good morning, good morning. Like I said, it is a beautiful Thursday morning here in the city of South Carolina. We just were able to dodge, like the Matrix, the supreme force of the hurricane that came from Florida, and we got two more brewing out there in the Atlantic. So hopefully the Lord will give us the same blessing and grace and protective covering, and we can dodge those as well. My name is Danny Graham. I'm your host here. Welcome to the show, which is the Road of Wisdom. And today's word, I'm going to get right into it. As you can see right here, is gossip. Gossip. I'm going to step on some toes today, including my own, but I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Gossip, Gossip. We all know what it is because we've all done it from time to time. We all probably still do it. I'm going to go ahead and give you some enlightenment on the word gossip. And the definition, of course, is casual or unconstrained, which means limited, casual or limited conversation or reports about other, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true. Not being true. Say it one more time. The definition of gossip is casual or limited conversation or reports about other people, not you. You don't gossip about yourself, but other people involving details that are not confirmed as being true. Just we get a rumor or something. Oh, did you hear so and so and so? Did you hear so and so and so? They ain't got any kind of confirmation that it's true, but you heard it. And you start spreading it around. We've all done it. I've done it. You've done it. Everybody done it. We probably still doing it to some sort, in some shape, form, or fashion. But we're gonna make sure we do it with a certain level of fervor. That's what's gonna be the difference. We do it out here just being malicious, and just being reckless, and just being just totally wicked about something. That's one thing. But if you're doing something, and I'm not trying to defend gossip, but I'm saying, but there's different levels of it. You got here with a lot of energy and a lot of fervor and a lot of this maliciousness and this continuously da da da. The Bible talks about that, and I'm going to go ahead and break down one of the scriptures that I've found what the Bible says about gossip. It comes from the book of Proverbs. Are you surprised? But the book of Proverbs, the 11th chapter, the 13th verse says, "A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret." You see it one more time. From the book of Proverbs, the 11th chapter, the 13th verse, it says, "A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret." Gossip is something that's been around. I can guarantee you from the dawn of time, biblical times. If you believe in caveman times or like Paleolithic time, Paleolithic men, I'm sure they gossip about other cavemen, all kind of stuff in the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1500s, the 1400s. However far along you want to go back in history, I'm sure there was some form of gossiping. And guess what? It's alive here and well in 2023. At home, at work, in the church, in the office, it doesn't matter. Wherever there's at least two people conversing, there's probably some kind of form of gossip. But we got to get a handle on that gossip because sometimes gossip can be malicious. Now, it's going to be something that everybody does it. But you got to watch the tone and the nature of the gospel. If it's something that's going to be malicious and hurting somebody, and you someone that just every time something comes out, you just causing a lot of disarray and a lot of turmoil and a lot of just negativity and just stirring up stuff, then that's definitely a problem. The book of Ephesians talked about also let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you. Ephesians, that comes from the book of Ephesians, the 4th chapter, the 31st verse. It talks about it. Also, listening to gossip is almost as bad as speaking it. I've read that. Listening to a gossip is always a bit so. Lord, we all are bad because we've heard from rumors, that some juicy rumors. We've made phone calls and talked juicy rumors. But it says listening to a gossip is almost as bad as actually being the gossiper yourself. Also, another verse from the book of Proverbs, the 17th chapter, the 4th verse. It says, a wicked man listens to evil lips. A liar pays attention to a malicious tongue. A wicked man listens to evil lips, but a liar pays attention to a malicious tongue. So if you're out here being malicious and just making stuff up, or it's one thing if you heard someone say, hey, look, did you hear that Danny left his job, went such and such and such? Or did you hear that Tony left his job, went such and such? Or did you hear that Susan's wife left? Or Susan's husband left? And I'm just using these names. This name popping in my head. Not any truth behind any of it. But did you hear that Bob went over and he stole such and such and such? Just got to make sure that you don't put any more story into that. Or if you're questioning or inquiring, that's one thing. But you say, hey, do you hear that Bob? He took that truck. He went to California. He took this truck, and none of this is true. And you just add stuff on. No, you're not helping the situation. You are definitely a gossiper, and on top of that, a liar. So both of them are definitely. One is bad enough according to the Bible, but two, you just adding on, just being crazy. There are a couple ways of certain things you can do, or two different specific ways in my research that you can confront someone or deal with someone that's being a gossip. The first thing you can do is confront that person directly, because a lot of times they're not expecting that. Oh, did you hear such and such? Did you hear that Danny cheated on his wife? And I hear that, and I say, who said that? And they said, oh, Bobby did. I'm going to Bobby, especially if it's not true. I'm going to, hey, man, I'm trying to figure out why you going around. First of all, that's going to nip it in the bud. Or it's going to do one or two things. It's going to cause a confrontation, or it's going to cause Bobby to shut up. And a lot of times, if it's a physical confrontation, then you better be ready to rock and roll. If it's not, and I guess you kind of punking Bobby, so to speak, or whatever, or shutting him down, then maybe that's going to teach Bobby, well, maybe I better not. If I'm going to gossip, I better not gossip about Danny, because Danny's going to come and he's going to check me. He's going to look right in my face. I'm just saying, not trying to get physical about something, but sometimes that's a reality of the matter, that you say something that you have no business saying. It is a lie. You're going around saying stuff like it's the gospel. A lot of times, in some cases, you can look to be confronted by that individual, especially if that individual ain't got good sense. So definitely, that's one way you can confront the person. The second way is you can totally just ignore it. Oh, Bobby don't know what he's talking about. That's all Bobby want to do. I'm not even following that up. Go on about your business and don't even give Bobby any energy, because a lot of times, confront the person. If Bobby is someone that's not scared or don't have, so to speak, Kool-Aid, his heart pumping Kool-Aid, then he like, okay, yeah, I did say it. What you gonna do about that? And then if you can't do anything or won't do anything physical or choose not to do anything physical, then a lot of times, all that's gonna do is just give Bobby more energy, because he know he's pushing your buttons, or if it's a female, pushing her buttons. So just make sure those two ways that I've done in my research that you can also possibly deal with a gossiper. Confront them or just ignore them. One of those two ways. There are two things that I call them sister sins, so to speak. One is slander and one is gossip. Slander is to speak evil of someone. That's the definition of slander. To speak evil or ill against someone. In the Bible, person that slanders someone and a person that gossip, the name they give for him is backbiter. I'm like, whoa, backbiter. That comes from the book of Romans, the 1st chapter, 31st verse, that God refers to them as backbiters. So we know what backbiters are. There's someone that you can't trust, someone that you think is your friend. You tell them something, and the next thing they're doing, especially if it's going to be something that's going to hurt you, is times you tell them from their ear to their brain, and it's going straight to their mouth to somebody else's ear. So be sure if you identify somebody as a backbiter, someone you can't trust, or someone who has betrayed you in the past, you tell them something in confidence, and they going out saying something, and it's causing some kind of negative situation or some kind of negative effect, or something that's putting you in an unfavorable light, backbiter. That is what that person is called, a backbiter. The Bible talks about it too. Also, King David, he was subject to gossip when he did stuff with Bathsheba, and then he plotted the murder of Bathsheba's husband, and did a lot of things that was unfavorable to God. And he took ill. Part of the time when he was king, he took ill, and people that were his so-called friends came there, and then they saw him in a certain state, and then they went back. They started gossiping. They were happy that David was sick, and was happy that he was getting what he deserved. But to him, when they was talking to him, they were acting like they were so concerned. Oh, King David, we're so sorry. Oh, we hope you get better, and don't worry about what other people say. We're your friends. We got your back. Does this sound familiar with what you heard sometime in your life, maybe currently hearing now? But then as soon as they leave your house, as soon as they left David's palace, hey, David, the king, he's not feeling so well. And I think he's getting his justice too, because he betrayed. He went to another man's wife, and he sent that man off to war to get killed. He deserves everything he's getting. He's not favored anymore. Good, good, good. I hope he gets what he deserves. I hope he dies. That's what they did. That's what they did to King David. That's what the Bible says. So I'm just saying, the same way they did it back then, some people are doing it right now. That gossiping and that deceit and that backbiting is alive and well in 2023. So just make sure. When someone is also gossiping, the book of Titus, 3rd chapter, 10th verse, it says, you need to warn them twice. Not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times. Warn them once, then warn them again, and then if they don't stop, you reject them. You get away from them. You cut them loose. You tell them bye-bye, adios, arrivederci. I'm out of here. I didn't say it, so don't say Danny saying, but I'm telling you, I researched this. The book of Titus only has 3 chapters in it, but the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse says, well, you warn them twice, and if they don't stop it, you reject them. You cut them loose. So these are biblical scriptures, not Danny scriptures. These are biblical scriptures that I thought was very interesting. Also did some research too, and the last part of today's show, it talks about 7 ways to shut down workplace gossip. I saw that, I said, this is very interesting. Let me make sure I get this. 7 ways to shut down workplace gossip. First way is, don't partake in the gossip. You walk in the office, hey, good morning, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Danny, come over here. Man, guess what I heard last night about Bobby? Bobby, whoa, what's this? What's going on? Is this work related? No, it's not work related. Hey, I understand that might be very interesting, but I got some work to do over here. So I'll catch y'all later when y'all get done this conversation. When you're ready to talk about some work, let's go and get it done. But hey, y'all have a good morning, man. Be blessed. Take it easy. Peace. That's what you do. That's way one, to just avoid the part of the gospel conversation. You see everybody around the so-called, what they call it, water cooler. They're discussing stuff that's going to be negative, detrimental, and it's coming in from a way that's not going to be productive. You might be wanting to get yourself up out of there. That's way number 1. Way number 2, change the topic. Hey, hey, Danny, come over here. Hey, did you hear about Bobby? No, that's about Bobby. Hey, but before I get that, I don't mean to cut you off. Did you see the game last night when the Dallas Cowboys, them clowns, I hate Dallas Cowboys. That's for every Dallas Cowboy fan out here that's watching this. You're a bunch of clowns. But anyway, get back to the, hey, did you see the Dallas Cowboy in the Commanders game last night? Guess what? The Commanders beat the Cowboys 36-6. Did you see that? Did you see that play that they did? Yeah, man, I did see that. And then you just change the subject, man. You do the okie doke. You Jedi mind trick them. You make sure, hey, I ain't trying to get in that negative stuff, but I'll flip it with something that's positive, something that does not involve me trying to get to a conversation that's going to talk negatively about anyone else. So that's way number 2. Let me say way number 1 is you get yourself out of that situation. Way number 2, you change the subject. Way number 3, you avoid the gossiper. You know, every morning you come in here, Bobby always got something to say. So when you get off the elevator or come up the steps or walk in the building and you see Bobby and he hadn't quite seen you yet, you take an alternate route to your office. I'm sure some buildings you can't, but some you say, or you turn around, I forgot something in the car. Yes, let me go back and get it. Or you see him coming down the hall this way and there's another way to get to your office, you take that left turn, you take that right turn, you go in the elevator, you go up the steps, whatever the case may be. You take an alternate route route, and you avoid that individual at all costs because you know what he is coming up there with, some bull crap. Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, whatever morning they're coming in there talking gossip about somebody. So you just avoid him as much as humanly possible. That's the third way. Fourth way, you work out the difference. You tell them, you call the people in if you're a supervisor, or if you're not, hey, come here, look. I don't feel comfortable with the fourth way. I don't feel comfortable talking about all this negative stuff and gossiping stuff. So if it's going to be gossiping, I'm not going to be a part of it. But if it's going to be the friendly banters, the small talk about stuff, then I'm going to be a part of that. So that's just hey, not saying it's bad or whatever. I'm just saying it's not for me. It's not my cup of tea. So if you're going to talk about certain things or we're not going to talk about certain things, especially if you're a supervisor, you set the rules. Look, we're not going to talk about people in a negative way. We're going to come here and do something. If it's small, talk about a TV show or something we saw, a sporting event or something that happened at home that you say, hey, man, I just want to experience with you. Hey, man, me and my wife went out for my birthday to Red Lobster and this, and we talked about this. Something small, something no pressure, something that's not negative. You set the ground rules. If it starts all this negative stuff and it's causing strife or it's causing distraction in your particular work area or your work responsibility, then you set the ground rules. Hey, we ain't talking about this. This is what we're going to talk about. If it's in these parameters, it's good to go. If it's outside these parameters, we're not going to do it. That's the fourth way you got to do it. Fourth way, just a quick recap. First way, don't partake in the gossip. 2, change the topic. 3, avoid the person that gossips. And 4, set parameters on what you're going to discuss, what you can and can't do. Number 5, confront the gossiper. Confront the gossiper. Like I said earlier, if this person is gossiping and you're a supervisor or you're somebody that's being gossiped against, you go out there and you confront them. Look, I don't know why you saying this, Bobby, but I'm hearing that you saying this. I'm telling you right now, you keep your no, don't say that because that's going to be very confrontational. It's going to be very aggressive. But hey, look, man, come here. Hey, what's going on with you, man? I'm hearing you saying this stuff at me, and I don't know why because I don't have no issue with you. It's not true, and you're putting bad words in my name. So I'm asking you, and it's like it goes back to what I said. You asked me twice. I'm asking you now. Please don't do that. If you do that, then I'm going to have to go to our supervisor, and it's going to get nasty. I don't want that. I want to settle this right now, man to man or man to woman. Hey, look, don't say that because it's not true. That's what you do. You do it twice. If you go to that person twice, according to the Bible, the book of Titus, and he or she continues to do it, then you cut them loose. You know what you got to do. If you go to them the first time like a man and it stops, you've done your part. Go to a second time and it stops, you're doing your part. If it goes a third time, then you know, look, I can't deal with this person. Only in a professional manner, but anything else, I'm done with them. We're not talking. We're not friends because he or she can't be trusted. They are a backbiter. So you do that. Number 6, concentrate on the task at work. When you hear somebody doing like gossip and stuff, hey, look, we can't talk about that now. We gotta get this job done. We gotta get this work done. We gotta set up for this storm. We ain't got time to come here and gossip. These hurricanes are coming at a frequent rate if you're in my profession. So while we're in this meeting, we're going to discuss the hurricane. We're going to discuss the position. We're going to put our manpower. We're going to discuss what happened when this happens. If ABC happens, maybe we're going to do DEF. If 1, 2, 3 happens, we're going to do 4, 5, 6. We ain't got time to hear that stuff. Once it's all is completed, then we can discuss something, but we're going to discuss something under my terms, not your terms. So don't come in here with that. We got to get to work. We got to do the task at hand, the work at hand. There is no place for anything that's going to distract us from the current thing we need to do. That's what you tell them. That's number 6. And the last thing, according to this article I read, the 7 ways to shut down workplace gossip, don't take the gossip to heart. If it's something that's crazy, you ignore it and you're like, man, Bobby, he don't know what he's talking about. I'm not even following him up because he's talking foolish stuff. And I'm not even wearing that on. I'm not letting it get into my skin. I'm not letting this. I'm not taking this home. I'm not letting this stuff because it's not true. And gospel and Bobby is silly. Bobby probably is immature, probably a young person, and he's silly. I'm not even following him up. That's what the 7th of the 7 ways to shut down a workplace gossip. A lot of times it's just like an argument. Person can argue back and forth. Early in my marriage, if my wife would say something, I had to say something back. She say something, I say something back. Word for word, tit for tat. as I grew older, I'm like, if I don't really care about it, I ain't worrying about it, and I'm not gonna arguing back and forth. Because one person can't argue. If one person arguing, that person is probably crazy or insane. But I don't go back for tit for tat. If it's something I don't care about, okay, honey, whatever. Because you can't argue by yourself, or if you're, like I said, you're insane. It takes two people to have an argument. So just don't worry about it. Yeah, okay, baby. Yeah, you want to do that, such and such. If I don't care about it, there's no need of me wasting my time, energy, and getting my emotions all in an uproar and feeling all that intensity and fervor and all that craziness. Okay, yeah. You wanna spend the $20 on such and such, which I think is crazy. Go right ahead. All right, good. I'll be in the man cave watching the game. But that's just how I feel about it. Like I said, we all gossip. We all have done that from time to time. But we just need to take inventory of ourselves. We need to look in the mirror and say, do I really need to be labeled a backbiter, somebody that's a ladle and stirring stuff up, or do I need to be somebody that can be trustworthy? I'm gonna try and be. I'm gonna be someone that's trustworthy. Like I said, gospel is it's human nature sometimes, and a lot of times you want to spread the word and hey, that's human. But you got to make sure how you do it when you say it. It's not malicious. It's not something that's going to cause some kind of strife. It's not something that's going to cause a commotion or something that's going to divide the workplace, divide the home, divide the community, divide the church. Don't be a part of that. You should be a part of the person, or you should be a person, or you should be an individual that's trying to bring things together, bring the church together, bring the department together, bring the community together, strengthen your marriage, strengthen your relationship with your children. You should not be the person, you should not be the catalyst of divisiveness and trying to cause any kind of negativity because you can't keep a secret or you just want to gossip and you just want to run your mouth about something that may or may not be true. Again, this is just my 2 cents on this particular word. I hope that it didn't step on too many toes, but it stepped on my toes. So I got Danny, okay. You gotta watch yourself. Make sure I don't have this. Make sure I don't do that. Make sure I stay within the guidelines, the parameter that should be set. I'm going to end with a quote of the day, and the quote of the day is, "Those who gossip with you will later gossip about you." Remember that. Those who gossip with you will later gossip about you. Gossip about you. So, if this is your first time ever seeing my show, definitely please tune in every morning, 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow is Friday. On Fridays, when I upload the show, I also will be in the live chat. It will come out as a premiere. You're going to hear something that's probably about a minute before it starts. Maybe some kind of crazy introduction, a countdown and stuff. That's the show getting ready to come on. And once it comes on, there's going to be a live chat box under here. I will be in that live chat. You hear me typing. You'll see my name, The Road to Wisdom, and I'll say, "Hey, good morning. How you doing?" You can also, from your device, your phone, from your desktop, your laptop, whatever device you're using to watch me, can also interact and talk with me. Tony Brown does a lot of times. One morning I had about 7 or 8 people. I encourage that because you can talk to me directly about things that's going on in life or the particular video that you're watching. Tomorrow is going to be on self-improvement. So make sure you tune in for that. Self-improvement is tomorrow's word of the day. So, like I said, if you haven't ever seen the show before, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload. Also, give me that thumbs up, like button. Leave a comment because I read all your comments. I respond back to it. And last but not least, watch all my videos from the start to the finish. That helps me in the YouTube algorithm. Again, thank you all for joining me. And again, like I always tell you, make sure you go out and get you a good pair of shoes because I'm not going to start walking on this road to wisdom. Y'all have a good day.